It's Jim White, Simon Jordan and Sean Dyche, and we are live on talkSPORT. No introduction, Mr. Dyche, of course, former Burnley, Everton and Nottingham Forest manager. May as well do this now, actually, because I was intrigued during the commercial break. Simon, you threw it in out of nowhere. Thomas Tuchel, England.
Yeah.
Will they win this thing under Thomas Tuchel?
I think never had a better chance with a group of players that are possibly available. Obviously form related, a lot made of some of them, where they're at with their form. I don't think we've played anyone of any real calibre yet, so that's going to be the next challenge. The friendlies are not friendlies anymore, we all know that, so there's a bit of heat on that, a bit of jeering, come off and all that, but what do? You've got to try these players, you've got to see who's right and who's not. But I think look, it's a nightmare, isn't it, for, us English managers and fans, England fans, that every time there's a tournament we all call it and go, surely this time. But I was a massive fan of Gareth. I thought Gareth did a brilliant job. Didn't quite get there. Can this guy get there? We'll see. But I think it's as good a chance as any with the current, not just because of England players or the talent we've got, by the way, I must make that clear, because of the other countries. None of them are really firing either. None of them are ripping it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them, the superpowers are not so superpowered at the moment.
Yeah.
But you've got to turn up in the tournament, haven't you? And I'm not for 1 minute making out that's easy, because I'm sure it's not.
I mean, England aren't ripping it either, are they? But do you worry about what the narrative might become if it takes a German to manage England to winning the World Cup?
I think there could be some heat on that from certain people, whether it's professional people or not, because of the shoes on the other foot. But bigger picture than that is win. Go and win a tournament. You know what I mean? That's the bigger picture on it. Everyone wants to win a tournament, including me on the behalf of England, my little tiny part in the football industry on behalf of England. Because I've worked with England players and, I have done recently. So you played your tiny little part, rubbing off on them, hopefully, to give them a better chance to play for England and hopefully win.
What does it tell us, Sean, that the FA had to turn to a German to try and get England over the line?
I think it's diversity of life now, isn't it? I think the rules have changed. There would have been a time when that was unheard of, but it's not anymore, is it?
Yeah.
I suppose it tells you the same as the Brazilians.
Do you think English managers are the best in class, Sean?
I think there's some very good ones out there. I think it's a different mindset. Like I say, it's the shifting sands of football and the culture of football. The demand is high for, I think it's changing. I think there's a lot of young English managers who are doing a very good job and being recognised for that and being recognised in a different way. And, we always like, I'm a big fan of Eddie. I want Eddie to go and win something. No, he did. But, if you go and push and win even bigger or go to Europe, win something, because then it's another great sign, isn't it, for English management and English coaches through the system. And if he would have become an England manager, why not? Why couldn't he have become England manager?
I think I recall Big Sam saying at one stage, if my name was Sam Allardyce, I would have had more job offers.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I think that's changed a little bit.
You're not in that mindset.
No, still we do sit we did sit in the office, my staff. We used to love it when, like some manager who people had hardly heard of. I'm not going to name names, but we could all name a few. And there'd be someone outside the stadium on Sky, they'd be going, great always great tactician. And we go, don't even know who they are. We used to laugh. We used to go because they've come from the Spanish league or whatever, you know what I mean? So we always used to have a chuckle at that.
But you think the image has changed for English managers?
I think somewhat. I think the more you can get working at the highest level, it's going to be better. But it's not that easy, is it? Because it's become a world game, particularly the Premier League. They're recruiting from, but not just managers, players, staff, specialists, throwing coaches. They'll have haircut coaches next. That's something, because they're recruiting from all over the world.
It wouldn't be right not to mention Burnley in a bit of detail before you leave us. Under Scott Parker, it's been a tough old season. What have you made of it? He's come in for some criticism from amongst his own support.
Yeah, he's doing the same sort of thing that their plan was the last time with Vincent there, don't they? They spent a relative to Burnley, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Loads of youngish sort of players, up-and-comers, and I think the model, I'm not speaking for them, I can only imagine the model is stay up and then sell them all for a cajillion quid. It ain't that easy. Every club would love to sign young players for less, let's say, develop them and be successful and sell them on for fortunes and keep that going year after year. It is not that easy, trust me.
Yeah.
Everyone's model is that, virtually across football now, but it is not that easy.
Wolves are as good as gone. Burnley are as good as gone. But Wolves under Rob Edwards, Sean, some were critical of his decision to leave Borough when he did. And get himself involved in the Premier League relegation battle. As a manager, is there anything wrong in prioritising number one, yourself?
it's very difficult that I know Rob a little bit, and I spoke to him when we played him. It's very difficult, that situation, because there's no guarantee in the Championship. It's a very tough division to get out of. Frank's doing a brilliant job at Coventry. Christian Wilder, I know well. I've done it myself. It's tough. So he's at Middlesbrough. They're going along well, but now look, they're having a wobble, and they're still up there, but they're having a wobble all of a sudden from being right up there. If that doesn't work, you might never get another crack at the Premier League. He went in there, I think, eyes open, because he knows it's a tough one. Tough start, and then they've just turned it round. Funny enough, when we drew with them, after that they went on a really good run. I think it's a really tough, but the Premier League is the place to be. It's simple as that.
Would you have done what he did? I know it's hypothetical.
I don't know. I mean, you got to know. And don't forget,
You thought it was treacherous.
He's got family and all that sort of stuff. Oh no, I'm not going into that world. And that's a different opinion. I'm talking as a manager. It's a tough decision. I don't think he took that decision lightly, by the way, not remotely. But his family, his connections, with the club, and
it's this relationship that he felt he had with Wolves.
Well, it certainly seemed that was a big part of it.
But it didn't seem. It seemed from the outside looking in. What was your main gripe about it?
He was given an opportunity by Steve Gibson, irrespective of whether he was sitting on top of the Championship, is irrelevant. He was given an opportunity, he was backed and supported, and this is the other side of the equation. It's not a one-directional circumstance about what owners do and don't do. Rob Edwards was taken out of the car crash that he turned Luton into in the end, which was brilliant to get him into the Premier League, went out of the Premier League, got into the Championship, went out of the Championship, and is rewarded by being able to re-establish his reputation by going to work for a decent chairman. I think you'll agree Gibson's a decent chairman.
Yeah.
And the reward for that is, I'll buy your players, I'll support you, off we go. 5 months into your job, something better comes along. Oh, is that how it works, is it?
Oh, hang on a minute. So if he loses 5, then you can sack him.
And pay him.
So that's all right, is
and
it?
pay him.
Yeah, but you pay him with good faith, don't
And
you?
pay him.
No,
So if I sign,
I'm not having that.
well, you wouldn't, because you're on the other side of the argument.
No, you give someone a contract with good faith. Everyone signs up that contract, by the way. Everyone's happy with it. Everyone. There's no bending arms. That's it. And you know the rules when you go into that contract. You know the payoff. You know what's going to happen. So I disagree, because if you get a chance if you get a chance and they pay good compensation,
if you fail,
there's some big.
If you're successful,
there's some big numbers now. Compensation.
If you're successful,
right? So you pay compensation for that manager. Go. What if he loses 5 in the trot? Then you're allowed to go. Oh well, you're dinged.
You're not. You pay him. If you've got a contract, and that contract is for 3 years, and I decide that the form that you've exhibited over 5 games is that fragile that you get sacked, I've got to pay you for your failure.
A bad decision to bring him in, then. It's your fault.
Absolutely.
Not their fault.
Absolutely my fault for bringing you in. At the same time as my fault for having a lack of tolerance. Most chairmen should have the viewpoint of saying, actually, I'm going to give you enough time, enough rope to get past this. But the idea that it's a wonder is that if you are successful, it's not solely because of you, despite what you may think. It's because you've been given an opportunity and been given the support to do it. That means that ultimately the consequence for an owner is, I get you success. When something better comes along, off you go. If you are bringing me failure, and ultimately I've given you all the tools and you're bringing me something that's failure, I've got to make a decision to get rid of it. I've still got to pay you. So I lose on both ends. I lose if you're successful, and I lose if you're unsuccessul.
There's your
I
answer.
get to pay for
Don't be
that
a football manager or an owner.
Oh, yeah. Be a football manager because you get paid for
Sell your
nothing.
club. Sell your club as quickly as you can. Oliver Glasner is a great example. People forget at the beginning of the last season, when they won the FA, they were booing him off at the beginning of the season, wanting Steve Parish out and everything.
When?
The beginning of the season before. When
Right,
they
yeah,
lost.
I
Do you
recall
remember? Oh, they were.
Right,
So
what?
you don't remember, do you? I'm sure you do.
No, rubbish. That's rubbish.
No,
You'll make
they
rubbish
were.
go along.
Oh, at the beginning of that season.
No, rubbish. You're talking rubbish.
Okay, let's get the. We'll get some video clips. Get some video
and you'll be
clips,
wrong.
let's see.
He came in off the back of Vieira. He was afforded and lauded huge currency because their back end of the last season was brilliant. They started badly. The fans weren't on his back at all. Mateta wasn't being picked because he was unfit after the Olympics. So it wasn't the case at all. There was a lot of temperance and a lot of tolerance. The big thing for Glasner is the exact thing that I've just said, which he's entitled to, by the way. He brought in an unprecedented level of success for Palace, and now they've got the challenge. He wants £100 million to be spent on players, and Palace aren't going to do it. So what do you do in this situation?
This is going though. So
Correct.
they've shook hands. That's all right, isn't it? You're allowed to shake hands, aren't you?
Well,
Go,
yes.
Right, that's it. Done.
But what I'm saying,
Done a bit. You've done your bit. I've done
what
my
I'm
bit.
saying
Off we go.
is that the manner in which he's leaving is wonderful. Oh, that was very helpful. Out you go in press conferences and
No,
start
but
singing and
we're not
coughing.
talking about that, though, are we? We're talking about
But we
originally,
are.
talking about contracts and the idea of contracts. And
Would you ever sit at a press conference and say I felt
It's not. No,
abandoned?
no, I'm not going to judge him, but that wouldn't be my way of doing things. No, I had many chances.
Why not?
Well,
Because it's wrong.
Would it be disrespectful to the owner?
Because it's wrong, and he knows it's wrong.
Yeah, I've always tried to keep things in house, whether it be player situations, my situation, whatever it is. I just believe that the strength is in keeping everything in house,
Yeah.
even if it's my decision. But Klopp did it, didn't he? Klopp said, "I'll be going at the end of the season."
Yeah.
So, but you know, culturally, it's a different thing in Germany. They do it all the time. They agree it. They carry on working. They shake hands. They disappear.
But that's two different arguments. When your contract expires, that's fine. Everyone drops hands and says, well, at the end of the day, we can't get you to renew a new contract. And I accept that. And I don't have a problem with that. It's not about that we're talking about. It's about talking about in contract situations. So if you give a manager a 3-year contract, after 6 months, something better comes along. I had it with Brucey. 6 months comes along, something better comes along. We're top of the league. Brucey goes to Birmingham because it suits him. Oh, I'm pleased it suits you. I'm really delighted that it suits you.
You get compensated for that. Because when it didn't suit him, he loses 5 contract, you sack him.
So
you can't have it both ways.
And when you get compensated, what you have...
You don't always pay him. You don't always pay him, you know.
You're glad you can
If you've got a contract, you pay him. You know
it's not as easy as that.
It is. It's factual. It may not be easy because you don't make the argument easy. And also, and the reality of things is, if a manager leaves you in the middle of a season, it is a mess. Because normally what they come do is go, oh, the players that you brought in, I want them too. And my backroom staff, I want them too. All the staff that you brought in.
It wasn't a mess when I left Everton. Trust me, it's in brilliant shape.
No, maybe you're the exception.
Maybe Moyes went out and said that. Because I was involved with the decision to leave.
You know, as soon as you leave this studio, we're going to be talking about you.
Well, you don't need to. You don't need to. I'm happy to talk about myself.
Sean, brilliant. Ever any truth in Rangers approaching you?
There was some truth in it. Remarkable clubs, them and Celtic, the size of them and everything, but it wouldn't have been for me at that time. That's what it was.
Martin O'Neill, eh?
Really?
You've got to admire him, haven't you?
Well, look, anyone who works for there, because I know it's a cauldron, you know, I admire them all.
Yeah. Sean, brilliant to see you.
Great to see you, lads. Enjoyed it.
Sean Dyche with us live on talkSPORT.